Hey guys, welcome back. So today we'll be multiplying square roots. Let's look at this example here. The square root of 12 times the square root of 3. First, we are going to combine our 12 times 3. 12 times 3, this is going to equal 36. So now we have the square root of 36. And the square root of 36, this is going to equal 6. So your final answer here is 6. The square root of 8 times the square root of 6. We are going to combine our 8 times 6, and 8 times 6, this is going to equal the square root of 48. The square root of 48, we can simplify this into the square root of 16 times the square root of 3. The square root of 16 is a perfect square. This is going to equal 4. And then you have times the square root of 3. I cannot simplify this any further. So that's why you're going to notice we're going to leave this alone the way it is. So your final answer here is 4 times the square root of 3. The square root of 3 times the square root of 27. We're going to combine 27 times 3. And 27 times 3 is going to equal 81. So now you have the square root of 81. And the square root of 81, this is going to equal 9. So your final answer here is 9. The square root of 3x times the square root of 4x. We're going to combine our numbers here. So 3x times 4x. And when you multiply here, you're going to get 12x squared. And now we're going to simplify this. So 12x squared, we can simplify this into the square root of 4 times the square root of 3, and then times the square root of x squared. The square root of 4, this is going to equal 2, times the square root of 3. I cannot simplify that any further, so I'm just going to leave that alone. And then the square root of x squared, these 2's are going to cancel out. So you'll just be left with x. Now, when we combine all of these here, you're going to get 2 times x. This is going to give you 2x. And then times the square root of 3. And your final answer here is 2x times the square root of 3. And when you get to this step right here for your 12x squared, remember there is another way that you can solve this as well. So if I do 12x squared and I simplify this, you can simplify this into the square root of 3 times the square root of 4x squared. The square root of 3, we cannot simplify that, so you'll just leave this alone. But then the square root of 4x squared, the square root of 4, this is going to equal 2. And then the square root of x squared is just going to be x, because remember the 2's are going to cancel out from here. So again, if you're combining these, you'll also be left with 2x times the square root of 3. Negative 3 times the square root of 7 times 2 times the square root of 7. So we are going to multiply our coefficients here. So negative 3 times 2. And then we have the square root of 7 times the square root of 7. Negative 3 times 2, this is going to equal negative 6. The square root of 7 times the square root of 7, this is going to equal the square root of 49. The square root of 49 is going to equal 7. So we know the square root of 7 times the square root of 7, this is going to equal 7. And then we have negative 6 times 7. This is going to equal negative 42. So your final answer here is negative 42. 4 times the square root of 5 times 3 times the square root of 20. So we are going to multiply our coefficients here. So 4 times 3. And then we have the square root of 5 times the square root of 20. 4 times 3 is going to equal 12. And then here we have 5 times the square root of 20. So we have 12. And inside my radical here, 5 times 20 is going to be 100. And then we have 12 and then times the square root of 100. This is going to equal 10. So now we have 12 times 10. And your final answer here is going to be 120. All right. So that is all for today. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.